Now you guys know I love me some green eyeshadow, like love, love, love some green eyeshadow. And I am an OG fan of Urban Decay. Like I like Urban Decay's old formula, like pre-Game of Thrones. Like, do you guys remember this thing? I mean, like, who does packaging like that? Urban Decay used to. But this formula was like the beginning of the end, I feel like, for Urban Decay. And now they've changed their formula again. So you guys know I had to try this puppy out because they lowered their price, changed their formula, thinned out their packaging, and then came out with some vegan mascara too. We got a lot to unpack here, so grab a snack, pull up a chair, pour a glass of wine, whatever you need, and let's get on into it. All right, you guys, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Alexandra, and we love to do the full research, breakdown, investigate everything beauty here. So if you would love to join our family, I would love to have you. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Let's get into this full breakdown of this palette. Now, of course, I will have timestamps down below in the description box. So if you're just curious how I created this look, or you just want to know how the mascara is, again, I will have timestamps down below just for you. All right, let's get into talking about this Wild Greens palette. I'm sure you guys just want to see what it looks like, so let's go ahead and pull it out. So this is what the packaging is substantially thinner. Like this was the Urban Decay, you know, Naked Wild West palette. So again, it's about the same length here, exactly, but quite a bit thinner. For sure. And then this opens up, and this is magnetic. There's like a little magnet in this part, and you can like hear it click, you know, on either side. So I don't know. I haven't decided how I feel about the packaging, but I do like how you can kind of go like that, and you know, so it is nice. It's kind of growing on me. I didn't know how I felt about it. I didn't really like it at first, but it is growing on me. I know some people said they didn't like the artwork, the snakes in the eyes, but you guys know I love snakes. I love all of that stuff. So anyways, this was definitely right up my alley. I'm sure you guys knew. All right, so let's get into the swatches. First up, we have High Vibe, which is a blood orange metallic with golden pearl. Next, we have Turmeric, which is a red-orange matte shade. Next, we have Fuzz, which is like a peachy gold shade. Very pretty. Next, we have Kickback, which is a neutral earthy brown. After that, we have Lo-Fi, which is a peachy matte. Then we have Chill, which is a vanilla-y type shimmer with a little bit of gold pearl to it. Moving on to the bottom row, we have Earthside up first, which is a neutral light brown shade. Then we have Super Greens, which, as you guys can see, is a light minty green, very pigmented in the swatch, but this is a color that you do have to build up when applying. Next, we have Prickly, which is a blue-green shimmer with like blue specks in there. Next, we have Twist, which, as you guys can see, is a metallic olive green. And then Kale, which is a true olive green. And then last but not least, we have Stash, which is a very dark, mossy green metallic with little gold flecks in there. So this is the bottom row completely. All right, let's do a couple comparison swatches. So we're going to swatch Hold'em and Fuzz. So this is Hold'em. And as you can see when I'm swatching these, the formula is quite a bit different in this new palette. So that is Hold'em and Fuzz. Now we're going to do Turmeric and Ghost Town here. So this is Turmeric, and that is Ghost Town. So as you can see, it's quite a bit different. This is quite a bit more powdery, and this spread out a lot better. Last up, we're gonna do Prickly and then Bud here. So here is Prickly, and this one actually applies better with a brush. As you can see, Bud swatches better with your finger, but they are substantially different shades. So the Wild Greens palette retails for $44, which is $5 less than your Urban Decay's usual naked palettes, because these retail for $49. Now, both of these have 12 shades in them, and even though the pans are, you know, designed and shaped a little bit differently, both of these eyeshadow palettes have the same exact amount of product in there. So they both have 12 shades with 0.03 ounces or 10.2 grams total in weight in each palette. So you're getting the same amount of eyeshadow. The only difference is this one has, you know, thinner, cheaper packaging, and this one comes with a brush. So, you know, I would rather save the $5 and skip the brush and the bulky packaging, but that's just me. So let me know your guys' thoughts down below. Now, I will say this formula is also different than the previous naked palettes. This is, I mean, both formulas are kind of powdery, but the shimmers are just a little bit more creamier. And these shimmers, surprisingly enough, picked up better with a brush than they did with a finger. And it's opposite with the naked palettes. So I found that very interesting. And these definitely required more of a dense brush. So keep that in mind when you are applying and playing around with this. And again, if you're curious how I created this look, we'll have the timestamp down below in the description box. But overall, I kind of think this is a little bit of an improvement on their previous formulas. I think that it just needs a little bit more pigment. Like, I'd really like to see an actual like grungy type, like melt cosmetic style palette from Urban Decay. I feel like that would really, you know, give them a lot more clout and credibility among the eyeshadow community, if you know what I'm saying. But that's just me. That's my personal opinion. Urban Decay, they're definitely going more towards like cleaner makeup. And, you know, it's not surprising. Their co-owner or co-founder actually just created a new brand, as you guys probably heard me mention in the intro, Callie Ray. And Callie Ray initially only came out with just mascara and eyeliner, and then I think they just recently released like a tinted moisturizer. So I haven't tried out the eyeliner or the tinted moisturizer, but I did try out the mascara, and it's a tubing mascara, which I usually like, but I wasn't a big fan of this one. I did just get it, and I'm still kind of playing around with it, but so far not a fan. However, I do really like this one. So if you guys are curious about how this applies, let's go ahead and talk about this. So this is the Wild Lash mascara. It retails for $26, has 9.5 milliliters of product or 0.32 fluid ounces. And I have to say, I was kind of impressed by this, you guys. So this has coconut, sunflower, avocado, cassava, colza, minerals, and grains, and it's supposed to give you 10.7 times more volume, 65% more lift, up to 16-hour wear, and it gives you fluffy volume and lift. And I definitely have to agree with that statement. This does make your eyelashes very fluffy and very lifted. Like, this is a very natural, like spread apart, fanned out eyelash for sure. So if you like thick, chunky, coated, or very, very wet mascaras, this is probably not going to be for you. However, if you like a very natural mascara and you like those big, fluffy, you know, spread out, bushy lashes, this is going to be your new best friend for sure. So you guys are going to see me try this on later on during the try on portion. But I will say, if you do want to build this up, this is buildable, but do let it dry in between coats. Like, put a coat on, let it sit for a few seconds, maybe go to the other eye, and then go back to this eye and build up that way, and you can definitely get a little more volume, but it's not going to give you a ton of volume. It just really spreads your lashes out, coats them, and just makes them look nice and bushy and fluffy. All right, you guys, enough about the palette, enough about the mascara. Let's get on into the try on portion of this video and how I created this green eye look. And then I'm going to give you guys my final thoughts. So I already got my eyes primed with the P. Louise base in Rumor 01. And then I'm going to take a Sigma E35 and dip that into Lo-Fi. And then I want to do a zoom in so you guys can see this shadow here compared to the ones next to it. So you can see that this formula is a very powdery formula. Just right there, how you can see literally the little brush specks in the palette. So I'm not expecting this shade to give me very much because it does look very close to, you know, my skin tone. But at the very least, I'm going to use it basically just to kind of set this P. Louise base down a little bit, and then it'll help me with blending out my shadows later on. But yeah, it's not really giving me much. Again, it's very close to my skin tone, so if you have a darker skin tone than me, even with a white out base, it's not going to give you much. So yeah, that didn't do anything. Next, I'm going to take a Sigma E25 and dip that into super greens here, which, as you can see from my brush when I'm tapping it off, it is very much so a very powdery shade for sure, just like the previous one, Lo-Fi. I'm getting like a little wash of green here. I will say, as far as palettes go, if you are looking for a super pigmented in your face palette, this is probably not going to give it to you. Not just based off what I'm, you know, I mean, you guys are seeing here, right? Okay, so like, it's just, I mean, this is like my second or third time dipping in now. And I mean, it is building up. It is starting to build up. But it is a very light shade of green. It's a very pastel type of green shade anyways. So, you know, it is showing up. It is definitely there. All right, let's grab a little bit denser of a brush here. So this is a ColourPop E9, and I'm going to dip that into Kale, which, that shade, it just looks green and grungy. And let's see if we can deepen this up a little bit. And this Kale shade here, I will say, is one of the ones that I noticed when I was swatching this and that turmeric shade and maybe Kickback, I'm not for sure, but those ones, these two definitely are different. They have that weird, like, sparkly kind of, but they're very faint in the pan, you know what I mean? So as you can see, we are getting, finally, some pigment and a little depth here by mixing those two greens. That is pretty. It is definitely very, very pretty. All right, let me throw some on my other eye. This formula is definitely different than the normal Urban Decay style formula. And I don't know if it's because of that avocado oil or whatever that they supposedly put in here, but this is just, it's different. It's like, it's applying differently. And it almost has like a sheen to it, but not. You know what I mean? Like, does that make any sense? Like, it's not a satin, but it's almost kind of like blending out like a satin. It's weird. And it's blending out very, very, very easy, like a satin would. Okay, so I'm going to go back in and add a little bit more of the super greens because I lost a little bit of that. All right, let's see what kind of depth we can get with this palette. So I'm going to grab a Sigma E54 here and dip into Stash, which, what kind of stash? And I'm going to pat that on the outside portion of my eye. And this shade is kind of, it's like a shimmery type shade here, but not with like a lot of shimmer. This is the darkest green in this palette. So let's see what she's working with. I have built this color up a few times now. And I will say, I mean, I could go darker. I would love to go darker, but it's got pretty good depth. So don't worry about the corners. Of course, we're going to clean those up afterwards, but I want to go ahead and I'm just going to take the other end of this brush, which is what, an E38. I'm just kind of lightly go over my edges here, just making sure everything is nice and blended. And if I have like a little spot I need to touch up, I just flip this brush around. This brush is so handy. They should just sell these brushes. Sigma should. They're in their palettes, and it's just so handy because, as you can see, like I flip back and forth between the two of them. It's just such a little handy dandy brush to have. Anyways, all right, next I want to go into this shade Twist. We're going to try it on a finger first. It looks really super, super pretty, but I want to try it with a finger, and then I also want to try it with a brush, because some shadows apply better with your finger and others apply better with a brush. So, I mean, that's giving me, it's actually a lot lighter than I thought it was going to be. I mean, like, it looks a lot shinier, a lot creamier on my finger. I'm going to grab just a little dense, like, crease brush, if I can talk, and I'm going to see if that fares any better. And yeah, okay, so this is one of those shades you probably want to apply with a brush. And this brush is not wet or anything like that. It's just, I mean, it seems like really with all of these shades in this palette so far, and obviously I haven't dipped into every one of them on my eye, but it definitely seems like this is one of those palettes that very dense brushes just do better on, you know what I mean? Or do better with, like it does a better job of picking up and blending the product for sure. So if you do get this palette, and if you seem to not be getting as much pigment or color as you're wanting, I would definitely use a denser brush, but that color is absolutely gorgeous. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. I kind of want to look at Prickly too. What does that look like? It's like a blue-green. Ooh, that's shiny. Should I put that in the inner just so we can try it? Okay, let me put Twist on my other eye, and then we'll dip into Prickly and see what that looks like. I got another one of those brushes. Ooh, yeah, that's just, it's picking up on there really good, you guys. Oh, yeah. That's what that needed. Ooh, that is so pretty. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. So pretty. I love these greens. Like, I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but for me personally, like a grungy green-eyed look, oh, it's just so gorgeous. Oh, and that's just pretty. That is just pretty. I don't care who you are. That's pretty. All right, let me go get the rest of my makeup on, and then we will try out the new mascara. This is the UD Wild Lash mascara, and it supposedly has like a leaf-like wand shape, which I guess that kind of looks like a leaf. I don't really care as long as it coats my lashes, makes them look longer and thicker without clumping them up. That's really all I care about. So this doesn't really feel like a very wet formula. It's actually pretty nice. It's pretty nice. It's not, yeah, it's not going on super, like, thick. It's actually dispersing the product very nicely and fanning my lashes out. As you can see, this is very much a natural mascara, I would say. Like, very, very natural. So if you like thick, chunky lashes, this is not going to be the mascara for you. But if you like something, shit, I just got the inside of my nose. Okay, let it dry, Alex, let it dry. If you like something that just really spreads your lashes and gets in there, like every little lash, and just fans them out, and you like layering quite a few coats on, then I would say this might actually be the mascara for you, because that's precisely what type of mascara this is. This is one of those where you have to do it in increments and just spread and fan and spread and fan. But it's going on really very, very nicely. It's very pretty. Again, very natural lash. I'm surprised. I don't normally like Urban Decay's mascaras, you guys. Like, not at all. I mean, like, so here's before, here's after. I mean, obviously we're not done with our eye look, but, and pay no attention to the inside mascara that I got on the inside of my eye. But other than that, it's pretty nice mascara. So here is the completed look. I did use my Patrick Ta in my waterline, and then on my lips I used the Dominique Cosmetics Creamy Fill and Define Lip Liner in Crush, and then Peach Price Tag, the gloss by Jeffree Gloss, on my lips. All right, let's talk about the palette and the mascara, because I definitely have some thoughts. So with the palette, now as far as the packaging, I don't really know what I think about this. It's kind of weird. It's not, I don't know, it's just not functional, but I do like how thin it is and the fact that it's really nicely, easily gonna fit in my bag or in my drawer or wherever, you know what I mean? I mean, shit, you could throw this in your purse. It's like nice and thin and sleek, and I do appreciate that. And the fact that it has no mirror and it's just, you know, yeah, it's simple. I like that, okay? But the formula inside is really what matters here. And with this, I don't know, I'm kind of at a crossroads, you guys. I'm going to be completely honest here, because here's the thing. It's not super pigmented, as you guys saw. It's really not. This is one of those formulas that is fantastic for beginners, because it really builds up very nicely. It blends out very nicely. It looks very nice on the skin. These matte shades here with that like little bit of sparkle in it, but you can't see the sparkle on your eye. Like, color pops of those are terrible, but this actually looks really nice. It gives a very nice like sheen, but it's not satin. It's a very, very, very nice formula, and it's very blendable. Like, can you guys see that? Let's see if I can get it to kind of catch the light. See how it's got like just a little sheen to it, but it's not sparkly. It's just really nice. So I do like these new formulas, but I also wish that, I don't know, this just gave me a little more versatility and a lot more depth. Like, I got a little depth. You got a little depth here, but not a lot. Now, as far as, is this a green palette? Because I heard a lot of people saying that, you know, they didn't feel like it was green. I feel like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the shades are green. You know, you got 3 orangey rustic tones here, you know, some blending out shades. I think they could have probably done without this lo-fi shade. That thing's pointless. But aside from that, I think this is a pretty good palette. I like the fact that they lowered the price, lowered, you know, the bulky packaging, so I can appreciate that. And yeah, that's essentially where I'm at with that palette. I think it's nice. I don't think it's a must-have, but I definitely think it's nice. And I would like to see this formula in more of Urban Decay's palettes and like just a little more pigmentation. You know what I'm saying? All right. As far as the mascara goes, I was pretty impressed by this. And I have to say, you guys know, I am very picky about mascaras, like extremely picky. I would not use a mascara for a look like this, but as an everyday mascara, I think this is amazing. I think this is going to be great. I'm interested to see if it's going to flake on me throughout the day. So I'll let you guys know in the description box or in the comments what happens with that. But overall, it's a very pretty natural looking mascara. Now, if you like thick, chunky lashes and you don't like them, you know, fanned out and like bushy and natural looking, you're not going to like this. I'm just going to let you know. If you like a more wet formula, you're not going to like this at all. You can build this up though. I did play around with it a little bit. If you let it dry in between coats, you can build this up pretty nicely. So I did want to let you guys know that, but I like this. I like it. And it's not bothering my eyes. I have super, super sensitive eyes. So the fact that this is not irritating my eyes right now is actually pretty surprising because I've had this eye makeup on and this mascara for a little bit now. So yeah, I'm interested to keep on using this. So let me know your guys' thoughts down below. What did you think about the palette? What did you think about the mascara? Are you planning on picking them up or did you already? Are they on the way? I do have to give a little side note here and shout out to Urban Decay because I placed an order through their website. I ended up having to cancel it because I ended up getting this at Ulta and they canceled it. No problems, no questions asked. I mean, no hassle. I called them right up. They answered the phone. It wasn't a big thing. Customer service was really great. So, you know, I hope that Urban Decay pulls their head out of their rear and keeps coming out with some new and innovative products and formulas because I would really like to see them stick around. All right, that is all I have for you guys today. Tomorrow we are doing, I've got the new Milk Makeup bronzer, the liquid bronzer. We're going to be doing a comparison with that with their original OG bronzer. So that's exciting. Until next time, you guys, see ya.